Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our 29th pitch event. We just get started. We are already 29. I'm so happy and excited. Today, we have another four founders coming from the US, going to Norway, Portugal, and I'm missing United Kingdom. So I'm very excited. It's so nice to have always founders coming from all over the world. So it's beautiful. So today we have again four daring great founders and one investor as a guest. And I would like to immediately joining and inviting our guest investor panelists. Philippe Noel, co-founder of CEO Retake. Before leave Philip talking, uh, for me, the best recipe in venture capital when investors come become founders or vice versa. It's not. It's more common having invest founders become an investor when they got successful because they have money. They can invest in other startup. At the same time, you have founders like Philip that are seriously thinking also to move to the other side as a been investor. This is why Philip is today. Philip will make a couple of questions, as we always do, after any founder has done his pitch. Today we are all made. And so, Philip, please, if you want to give an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Philippe. As Max has said, I'm a second-time founder. One day to be an investor, and so today I'll be contributing um, to the judging and to the question. So I'm excited to see all the startups, and best of luck to everyone.
Thank you, Philip. So let's start the game. Our first founder is Morten Ring, CEO of CityCube, also Norway and Nuremberg, Germany. Trust for the e-mobility pre-seed around 4 million. Morten, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks. Going well. Great to be here. Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming, and it will be a pleasure to see what you're doing today. Please, if you want to give an introduction to yourself, shortly, but very effective, and after, please go straight to the CityCube.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the opportunity. So my name is Morten Rinning. I'm the founder of CityQ, sitting in Scandinavia. We're a tech company developing a totally new way of mobility. I'm from the country where everybody's having a Tesla. I want them to change from a Tesla to a new way of cycling, the future of cycling. And that's what we're trying to do. I'm working with an awesome team in Germany as well as Scandinavia. So we are a German technology developer with some of the innovation coming from Scandinavia. So that's where we're coming from. So what we're talking about is downsizing cars into bikes and pods or reinventing cycling to become high-tech four-wheel e-bikes and pods. And the whole idea of this one is making better cities with net zero emission, true net zero emission for transport and less congestion. So we've been working on this one, and you can see these are car-like vans and bikes that one of our first customers, DHL, is now using in London and seeing this as a huge benefit, both for their efficiency as well as for net zero emission and CO2 emission. So all over Europe, we have this big shift in policies that they want to replace car traffic with cycling in inner cities and getting rid of car traffic. Even if you go into electric cars, they're still too big and create congestion. But shifting to cycling has weather issues, it has safety issues and flexibility issues. So that's why we started inventing or reinventing cycling into downsizing big vehicles into small ones. And there's a lot of benefit if you can downsize from a 2 tons Tesla into a 100 kilo bike like this. You're getting rid of 90 to 95% CO2 emission, also 75% of less parking, and you get all this opportunity of cycling in bike lanes. You don't need a driving license. So all this comes together with the benefit of a small vehicle. And what we've done as well, started innovating cycling into a high-tech vehicle. So it means we have made a chainless system where there's a drive mode instead of a chain, and where you have full connectivity coming even with remotely tracking and locking, and the whole vehicle is defined by software rather than mechanical. It's still regulated as a bike, which means it has a max speed of 25 kilometer, no driving license and no vehicle plate, and still cars-like seating. And even cooler than that is that we try to reinvent how you build a bike. So we made it in an IKEA-like assembly, which basically means one person can build the whole bike in 4.5 hours, which enables us to put up a plant anywhere we like, make customized versions, and we can make a lot of models on the same chassis. So again, we're not making one bike, we're making a platform for the future of all small vehicles. The market for this is enormous. McKinsey was just last year making a report about this potentially being the next big thing in urban mobility, with a market size of 100 billion by 2030. And even more awesome, McKinsey started using CityQ to showcase what these type of new vehicles could be like. So we're getting a good traction, not only from the industry, from McKinsey, and also from customers. We have already developed this over several years, gone to what is quality based from car-like style, B sample, now going into C sample. And we already sold out what we can make in 2030. So we're revenues to be delivered for 1 million euro in 2023, and then scaling up in 2024. The feedback is enormous. We have like 3,000 requests to buy, 450 already paid online. And then we have like huge customers, like you can see, in addition to DHL. And we also being recognized internationally by Urban Mobility in Europe, cities that want to become smart cities, and UN Climate Conference. We have a unique position towards traditional bikes. So we have this ability to make different type of bikes, the seating position, the riding capability, all the things that makes it important. But even more importantly, we are hitting the KPIs for the fleet owners, which is reliability and TCO, both of them, which is kind of crucial for B2B to become big buyers of fleets. The business model is very simple. We sell or lease initially, then we go to rental and subscription. So we have recurring revenue as we grow. And we're starting then with 100 units in 2023. We go to 190,000 in 2031, where we're doing 1 billion euro in EBITDA, and in revenues, and 20% in EBITDA. What we've been doing is raising 3 million euro to get where we are, being very lean in whatever we're doing. We have a senior team that is doing it as agile as possible. We're now just in the process of finalizing a bridge round of 1 million euro, and then raising 5 million euro to get towards profitability. Team is awesome, as I said. I'm coming from IT industry. We have guys from car industry, bike industry, assembly industry, and they're all over Europe. So this is not a Norwegian startup, it's a pan-European startup. That's what makes it so cool to be the founder of this one. There is a team and a network globally, and a recognition globally. Thanks.
Thank you, Morten. Thank you so much. Philip, if you want to start, maybe I will follow.
Yeah, thank you, Morten. This is really cool. Congrats on all the progress so far. I'm curious,
Thanks.
what are your margins on the bike you sell? You had a range like 9 to 14,000 euros. Can you speak a bit more about the unit economics?
Yeah, so the unit economics is about scaling, basically. I mean, my first prototype cost more than a Tesla. Now we're getting it downwards. So we're getting towards a margin of 3K euro per unit when we're selling it. When you do revenue over life cycle, you can get to more than 60%.
Got it. And what is the primary use case that you foresee with the existing customers? It is to replace a bike for personal commuting, or is it for delivery from DHL? Like, do these sit in the car lane or in the bike lane?
It sits in the bike lane, but it obviously doing both, because you're going in an agile, congested area using both areas. It's basically replacing vans and cars, not bikes. I mean, if you have a two-wheeler and it's good weather, you go with a two-wheeler. But if you're going to bring like a lot of food or e-commerce products, you need a cargo bike. So it's replacing bigger vans, and that's kind of it. The user case is a lot, from facility management to carriers, to postal services, to food delivery, and families, people that can't have a driving license anymore.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. I have a couple more questions, but Max, maybe you want to go ahead.
Please, Phil. We still have some. Go.
So my
Another
next
go.
question is, have you found issues where like the carrying capacity is too small? One of the concerns I have here is like if DHL is, the warehouse is not in the center of the city, like how can it carry all the packages it needs to carry for this type
Yeah,
of
that's
delivery?
that's a good question, because actually when it comes to carriers, one of the biggest issues, you can't have the warehouse outside London and then serve whole of London, because then you had to go by van and you're caught in congestion. So carriers going into micro warehouse and micro hubs, and that's already happening. So it's not like carriers decided they want to go there, but cities don't allow them to, and they're carrying a lot of tickets by parking tickets when they go in. But if they don't have smaller micro hubs, they will go with a van and then they're stuck. So we are not creating the change. The change is happening and we're hitting the wave.
Got it. That makes sense. And my final question, which like business segment do you foresee as you being your biggest revenue? Is it delivery companies? Is it like consumer delivery companies? Is it food delivery companies? It is personal commuting?
Also a great question, because the market is according to experts 50% B2B and B2C, but we're seeing like carriers getting a lot of attention like DHL, but actually we're
Uh-huh.
seeing more interest from facility management, handcrafts, electricians, everybody that needs to go and repair all around in a city and are getting
I
stuck
see.
in where to park.
I see. So like plumbers and electricians and so on.
Exactly. It's a bit fragmented market. That's why it's so important to have a platform rather than one type of vehicle.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip. I only follow with one simple question. Where is the market today? Which market are you more focused? Europe?
Yeah, Europe by far. There's a hot spot in Europe because of the European strategy, and in Europe, Germany by far. So when we look at who is attending on the website and ordering there, more than 50% from Germany, but we're seeing a pickup now in Belgium, UK, Scandinavia, and we have gone this for a few years. So we know very well each part, but we're also seeing distributors reaching out in all across Europe. So Spain, Portugal, Italy, we see it pretty much everywhere in Europe, and we have outside Europe, but we're thinking that's a bit early. I'm actually saying no to quite a bit of outside Europe customers. Just this week, I've said no to more than 50 units to be sold.
That's a good start. If you can
It is.
say no, if you can say no, that's a very much good start. Thank you so much, Morten. Please stay with us. We follow up soon.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. I'm moving to the second founder, Emiliano Gutierrez, founder of raiz, headquartered Portugal. Agtech Web3 pre-seed 2 million in USD. How's it going, Emiliano?
Pretty good, thank you. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Hi.
So let's give an introduction to yourself. Tell us more about raiz and Phil will follow up.
Very quickly, I'm Emiliano, originally from Mexico. I've been traveling around the world and learning different cultures and languages. Currently based in Lisbon, the startup capital for the time being. And raiz means root, and we are building the roots of a decentralized food system, healthier for people and planet. Happy to share more. Now, can you imagine a week without water? It's pretty hard, both for us and our agricultural system. Yet climate change is making it hard to feed the planet and the people. We see droughts, extreme weather events, arable land loss that are putting our agricultural system at risk. That's why at Raiz, we are creating a decentralized, climate resilient food system. By that, we mean we are going to empower communities and people all over the world to grow their own food, to actually earn to grow them, and taking the technology to the point that we can grow for all. In the vertical farming space, we are introducing this model in which people can finance new farms, earn a profit by enabling the growth of local fresh crops, and have this gamification model in which they can both grow and monitor, but also have this network effect that enables communities to launch their own farms. So this is our concept farm in Lisbon. It's a modular and scalable model, we are having these lower entry barriers by leveraging Web3 and allowing people, like we saw before, to invest in a farm system regardless of where they are. So making it easy to finance these farms and creating a traceability protocol that allows us to know how much water, energy, and carbon was saved from a monocultural, traditional agricultural supply chain, and really quantify that impact and create additional revenue streams for the farm operators. Now, what we're here to do is to grow the freshest greens all year long. So in the future, even when there's little water or extreme weather, we'll be able to grow consistently with 12 times the yields than traditional agriculture, with a lot of lower cost, because we have our hybrid energy model, in which you can see we use both natural light plus LEDs, and effectively grow with less resources, lower carbon, zero pesticides, and always with a top quality. We know that the market is quite big. In terms of agriculture, it's a 6 trillion market, but leafy greens, herbs, etc., and vegetables are around 3 trillion. And going back into indoor farming and vertical farming, we know that it's growing to be around 12 billion in the next couple of years, and we're starting in Europe to capture a $4 billion market. Now, we know this is urgent. Climate resilience is key for our survival. And even if it's just starting, we are beginning to see the changes both in our society, but our environments. The food system needs to change now. And decarbonizing agriculture is a massive financial opportunity as well. We also see that decentralized systems are thriving. You might have seen that some vertical farming companies, large ones that focus on fully indoors, haven't succeeded. That's why we're doing things differently in a decentralized energy, but also community-driven farms. We have launched a operational farm in Lisbon with over 100 paying customers. Last year, we grew 600%. We're developing this new farm wall that even before launch, we have already 7 clients in the waiting list, and we have secured our supply chain to be able to deploy 10 container farms a month throughout the world. Now, in terms of differentiation, we know that competitors rely on intermediaries, for example, selling through supermarkets, and they overspend on energy. Again, we're community driven, nature driven, and technologically driven, but in a decentralized manner with clean energy and all about community and selling directly to them. In terms of the team, this is just a core team. We are now a team of 12, but we have expertise from technology, plant science, design, operations, a team from all over the world with 6 different nationalities, and really hungry and passionate to make this happen. We are raising a 2 million pre-seed round. We'd love for you to grow with us. The objective here is to launch 3 new farms by next year with our upgraded software. To launch our partnership with Uber Eats, we'll be able to leverage those distribution channels to sell in every city that we expand to, and to develop the smart contracts for our farms and for our impact, to really have that additional revenue stream in terms of the impact that we're generating. Most of it will go towards software, farms, and product development, and that will leave us to around 18 to 24 months of runway to really capture this. We see it's a great opportunity to make it happen right now. The market is in a rough spot, and we are going to be here to capture it and grow within the next couple of years. So yeah, let's grow together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emiliano. Philip, please go.
Yeah, thanks, Emiliano. My first question is, you mentioned you have 100 paying customers, 600% growth. How much do they pay you, and what do they pay you for?
Yeah, that's been in the last year. So that they've been mostly paying for the crops themselves. So this is our families, individuals that are getting, for example, basil, amaranth, pesto kits, etc. And they
How much
pay
do they
around €3 per plant, or let's say if you're a restaurant, they pay around $100 per month. This
So
is
how
just
much money have you made?
around 10K or so for
Okay,
for
okay.
for the first harvest. Mhm.
Got it, got it. I have a couple of questions. First of all, why do you need this to be decentralized? I'm sorry, I couldn't, I failed to see the benefit added on top, because you can only sell in your local community, right?
If I could share the slide again, would be amazing. I don't know if you can bring it up there. But yeah, a couple of things. Here's it. So, I'm not sure how familiar you are with all the Web3
Yes,
angles, but
I'm quite familiar.
beautiful. So let's say we can create an incentive structure in which we can have ownership of the decentralized model. So you can invest in this farm regardless of where you are. You have not only access for one community farm, but of the whole network. So that creates network effects in which we can scale the farming network in a much faster manner. So in terms of decentralization, it's not only of where we sell the products grown by the farm, but the farms themselves are decentralized and they're connected via a software architecture that is providing both the, let's say, farming OS, but also the financing and traceability protocol. Hope that makes sense in the sense that if they're isolated and they're only like local, they don't reap the benefits of all the data that is being generated on a network scale, nor can they have the financing to it.
What is that data? What does it provide you?
So it's two angles of the data. The main core operational data is that you can operate the farms seamlessly, right? So it's temperature, humidity, water, light on one side. That provides insights for the grower to be able to operate in a seamless manner, right? So let's say you want to launch a farm, you have a really a fast learning curve in terms of having to go through all that. You have all that dashboard already prepared with that data. On the other hand is this impact data collection where you have CO2, land, and water, and that data can be tokenized and then create a secondary revenue stream for the impact.
Got it. Who do you own the farms, or is it third parties creating the farms?
We would own the farm and we would have this leasing model. Right?
So if you own the farms, then you have no need for centralized models because you have access to all the farms' data. Who is your customer?
The customers here are twofolded, right? They are the final customers that are getting the crops, right, or the services. And on the other one, it's, for example, hospitality, corporates, or even social entrepreneurs that want to launch their own farms in their own community.
Wait, so other people can launch farms, not just you.
Of course, that's the idea, no? So you provide,
but you said you own the farm.
We provide that. It's sort of a leasing model, right? So we keep certain ownership, and that's where the centralized ownership comes in. So we provide the technological infrastructure for you, for example, to launch a farm in Canada or wherever you are.
Okay. And so who do you expect to be your biggest revenue stream? Is it people who will pay you to get farming software from you, or is it customers who will pay for the vegetables?
I would say for the first one. So it's people who acquire and license the technology, and then we have a profit sharing model in which like we incentivize them.
And why do you run the farm? You should just sell them the technology.
That's the way. We don't run the farm. They operate the farm. We provide the protocols, we provide the software, and we provide branding so that they operate it, but we provide the technological backbone to allow them to run the farms efficiently.
And so right now you have a farm that you have run as a model, right? How are you planning? So like that's my final question. Correct me if I'm misunderstanding, but you said your ideal customer is someone who will pay you to have access to this farming software to run their own farm, right? And right now you have none of those customers, but they are your ideal customer because you're doing your own proof of concept. So my final question is, how are you planning to go and reach your actual customers? Who are the people who will pay you for the farming software, and have you validated that at all?
Yeah, I would say two sides of things, right? The first one is starting with hospitality and corporate spaces that we have validated one, and we're going to launch these new farms with them, right? On the second scale,
that's you launching the farms, not them, right?
That's us providing, let's say, a farming as a service model in which we allow them to operate them seamlessly, but they still do part of the operation. And in terms of reaching the final, let's say, farm chasers as we reach them, we're speaking with three of them. So there's three on the pipeline: one in Barcelona, one in Portugal, and another in Latin America. So those are the ones we're aiming to close. And the terms there is finalizing or standardizing the technology to the point where it's able to really replicate and run by itself. So it still needs to get to that level, and that's what we're developing in this next quarter or so.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emiliano. Stay, don't go, please. I'm calling Shabir Mokhtar, CEO, Cook My Grub, United Kingdom, Food Delivery Service, Food and Beverages. Let's see it around 750K in pounds. How's it going, Shabir?
Very well, thank you. Hi, Max. Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for coming, Shabir. Please go giving a bit of yourself, and after go straight to Cook My Grub. Thank you.
Sure. So I'm Shabir. I'm co-founder and CEO of Cook My Grub. So I had a career in software development, technology, grew into management, senior management roles, but always very busy to cook food for myself. Similar with my wife as well. When we had children, the situation got even worse. So we were always looking out for people who could come home and cook for us. We managed to find few chefs in the neighborhood, and we used to get food from them. So one day, when me and my co-founder Dinesh met, we decided to start a company where everyone would have access to amazing home chefs who could basically cook for them. So that's where the concept of Cook My Grub was born. So yes.
Any problems
Sorry,
again?
Max, there's some ring going on.
Would you hear? It's okay?
Sorry, it's like a telephone's ringing and it's not mine.
Yeah. So where's the telephone? It's okay now? It's okay now?
No,
Because I think all are muted, so there is no way it can come from here.
I'm just going to change my audio if that's okay.
Try to sort it out.
Oh, looks like it's gone. I'm not sure what that was. Sorry about it.
No problem. Go.
So, Cook My Grub is an online marketplace where home chefs can serve customers. We're a P2P commerce platform for home cooked food businesses. Now, why do we need Cook My Grub? So fundamentally, majority of home chefs struggle to even launch or scale their food business. They have very limited knowledge about the training and regulations involved in starting a food business. There was a BBC report from 2019 which highlighted there were more than 50,000 home chefs in the UK who were running their business in some shape or form, but a majority of them didn't have any food hygiene licenses or weren't necessarily trained. The food itself was hygienic, but they didn't have the regulatory infrastructure to back up the fact that it was hygienic. So as a result of that, they weren't really recognized. So the biggest problem here, which we found, was with home chefs, they have a lot of admin to do, very limited marketing budget, and they have to, along with cooking the food, have to do a lot of customer service and add on the delivery service on top of that. This meant there was always a barrier for entry for people who had a passion for food but weren't able to start their food business. There wasn't also any existing platform which they could rely on. Um, from the customer side of things, it was very hard for customers to find trusted home cooked food suppliers. They weren't sure if these chefs were first and foremost regulated by local hygiene laws. They also weren't sure how good these customers were. If they were told by a friend that the food was good, then that was a great reference for them. But otherwise, they were just taking a try. And finally, in terms of the overall transaction, there was no easy way for customers to know what exactly the full menu was and how would they even pay the customer, pay the chef. So that's where Cook My Grub was born. Cook My Grub equips home cooked food businesses to start their business with the flexibility for them to decide when, what, and how much they'd like to cook. We've championed the chefs, and as a result, in the app, we make sure that the chefs' photos are there alongside their food, so that the end customer has a way they can relate to the food that's being cooked. Basically, if you're ordering from, let's say, a Spanish chef, then you'd be able to see the food, you'd be able to hear a bit about their story, and that creates a better emotional connection between the customer and the chef. And as a result, there's a lot of stickiness and emotion which goes into the food, thus making the food have that little bit extra compared to a regular takeaway or restaurant food, where you're not really, especially when you order through the mainstream delivery apps, you're not really sure where the food is being prepared and who's making the food, whether they're being paid the right price, etc., etc. So Cook My Grub is an easy to use and secure platform which allows customers and chefs to basically transact while providing the necessary food hygiene training, allergy awareness, and the delivery capabilities for convenience on both sides. So what's the value we're creating for home chefs and customers? For chefs, the big piece is the academy, which we've created that allows them to get trained across food hygiene, also some basic business training. We help them create their menus using menu engineering. They get access to the e-commerce platform where they don't have to provide their bank details for customers to make payments. And ultimately, they do what they're really good at, which is cooking food. They're not involved on the delivery side. So the delivery is provided through our delivery network. Hence, the chefs don't have to deal with that. We also provide ongoing customer service to support to the customers who are placing these orders, so they have an easy way of using the system. And ultimately, with reviews and recommendations from other people visible on the platform, there's a way for customers to figure out which are the best chefs they can try out first time when they come onto the platform. The food delivery market is huge. There was a Statista report which put the overall market at close to 30 billion, going by a previous BBC report which put more than 50,000 home chefs in the UK back in 2019. That segment has significantly grown since COVID. We are hoping to get a very small percentage of this 30 billion market, and this market is growing on an ongoing basis. We expect the total number of users of food delivery apps to be close to 50 million users by 2027 in the UK only. So what's the competition out there? We've obviously identified the gap in this market, but who are we competing against? So the indirect competition are the likes of Just Eat, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, etc., who provide that instant gratification with quick meal delivery. And then there's the likes of HelloFresh, Gusto, and Mindful Chef, who provide meal kits where it's scheduled pre-ordered delivery like Cook My Grub, but there is the hassle of you having to cook the food yourself. There are some players who have come up in the home cooked space as well, but we've got a clear 18-month lead compared to them, and we think we've got a much better proposition in terms of the technology we have. So what's our vision? Our vision is to basically make ordering home cooked food extremely easy and simple. Whenever someone thinks of home cooked food, when they're missing their mom's cooking, they come on Cook My Grub and they order the food that they like. If they've been to a distant holiday, let's say if they've been to Sri Lanka and they like some Sri Lankan food, they come on Cook My Grub and order from a Sri Lankan chef to kind of recreate that experience. The way we're going to do that is we've established that early product market fit, but now we need to really scale up. And for that, we need to increase our brand awareness and market share. We'll do this by building consumer trust in home cooked food through our hygiene promise. And further down the line, we'll internationalize the business and scale the operations so that we become a truly global marketplace. So where do we make money now? Basically, the chefs pay us £149 joining fee in order to join the platform, and then they pay us a 25% commission on every single food order. For customers, in addition to the food cost, they pay us a service charge, which can range between 99 pence to £1.49, and they pay us a flat delivery fee of £2.99. We don't do the deliveries ourselves. We have partnered with two of the biggest delivery companies in the UK, DHL and Parcel Force, and on an average, we pay them £5 per delivery. So that means on a typical order of close to £40, we have about £8 to £9 margin. So that's, as you can see, this is our journey so far and the key milestones. We started with just 8 chefs and 200 friendly customers whom we knew back in the early part of 2021. Since then, we've onboarded, we have more than 50 chefs live on our platform with another 100 chefs ready to go as soon as we want them. We're on an ongoing basis, we're looking to acquire more and more customers scale the operation, and become the dominant home cooked food delivery company in the UK by the end of the year. So that's our team. My background is primarily in technology and digital marketing. My co-founder Dinesh has background in mergers and acquisitions, commercial strategy, finance, and we're looking to onboard Sonia onto the team, who has a strong marketing background. She'll be joining us post the fundraise. And we have Brian, who's been part of the team since day one and consults us on an ongoing basis. His background is as a chef, and basically he helps us with the food hygiene side of things. We have some marketing executives who work with us, sales support and customer operations, with a lot of gaps we want to fill post fundraise to help augment our core team. So the opportunity to invest at this point is a £750,000 equity fundraise with a valuation of £4 million. And for UK-based investors, there's an EIS-based tax saving available as well. The use of funds is 50% of the funds will be used in sales and marketing. Our technology, we believe, is at a good mature scale, so we only need to invest 20% additional in technology, but majority of it would be used in sales, marketing, and ultimately scaling up the operations to support the higher volumes. That's our financial forecast. Specifically, over the next 18 months, we're looking to 10x our GMV. So we want to go from doing roughly about 1,000 orders a month right now to doing 10,000 orders. And for this, we need close to about 50,000 customers in order to hit those targets. Ultimately, by 2027, we are expecting a total customer base of over 10 million with a GMV of over 50 million. Finally, what we're looking to do with Cook My Grub is basically create a technology company which helps bring home cooked food delivery to the forefront. We've gone, with the entire food delivery segment, we've gone in various phases. Initially, we just had directories of the local restaurants. Then came the era of the Uber Eats, Just Eat, and Deliveroo, which brought in food delivery from your local takeaway or restaurant. We're now looking at peer-to-peer food delivery, where we're training amazingly talented home chefs to create bespoke artisan food, which can then serve individuals as and when needed. We're a marketplace model, and we bear similarities to other successful marketplace companies like Airbnb, Etsy, etc. It's a fantastic opportunity to invest in us as we scale up and look to dominate the UK first, and then longer term, take this platform international across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabir. Philip, we have a little time for this Q&A because a couple questions, right? Because we are running late now.
Yeah, that's what I figured. My only question, I guess, is how do you reach chefs and users? How do you get people onto the platform?
Sure. So with chefs, initially we used to run, we used to go on a lot of the local groups, social media groups, WhatsApp groups, etc. Find people who are advertising the chefs, and we got the initial, let's say, 30 chefs on board. Then we obviously started targeting customers. Customers we've done through trying to first and foremost empower the chefs to do their own marketing. We've done, some SEO work around home cooked food delivery. We've run some basic paid ads as well to get the initial customer base going. And now we're very much looking to grow as a community-based model, targeting various communities of chefs. So a lot of the chefs on our platform, over 90% are from a migrant background. So let's say if we have Caribbean chefs, then we will target the Caribbean community, advertising those chefs to them, going to events, etc., creating that awareness about them, and ultimately, then, hoping for network effects to kick in at some point. We very recently started working with affiliates, so like dietitians, sports trainers, nutritionists, etc., who we've explained the concept to, they've bought into it, and now they, with a revenue share model, they help us kind of propagate the idea further.
Got it. Thank you.
Only one on my side, Shabir. What about safety as we talk about food?
Sure. So every chef who is on our platform is registered with their local authority, so with their local council. So they go through a process where we've guided and trained them ourselves first. We do a food tasting session with them as well to make sure that things are okay. They get their home kitchen gets inspected by their local council officer. We also do a remote inspection. They get a food hygiene rating, which is 1 out of 5 stars. Over 98% of the chefs on our platform have 5-star ratings. When you compare that with the average high street in the UK, only about 60% of restaurants would have it. So pound for pound, we're much far ahead in terms of ensuring that the food is much more hygienic than the average high street restaurant.
Thank you, Shabir. Don't go. Stay with us. We are coming back extremely soon. This is our last, but absolutely not the least, founder, Maxim Litvinov, founder of Day Up Inc., headquartered in Florida, USA. B2B SaaS seed round 1 million in USD, of course. Maxim, how's it going?
Good. How's everything, guys?
Thank you for coming. You have a
Thank
pretty
you.
strong background. Make sure that your voice is not covered, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to give an introduction to yourself and after go straight to business, thank you.
Perfect. My name is Max, and I'm a founder of DayApp. Before going to my pitch, guys, I want to ask everybody a question. When was the last time any of you called the company and trying to reach a human customer support? Press 1 for this, press 2 for that, long and on music just to get in touch with the customer service, right? And how was your experience? Okay, now let me go into my slides. Okay. Okay. Americans spend on average 25 hours yearly and 43 days lifetime trying to reach the customer support, staying on hold. That is the problem. Our technology allows customers to reach any customer support anywhere in the world just by pressing a button. So basically, what if they want to call a company UPS, it's a shipping company, all they need to do is choose a department they would like to call, press call, and we do the rest. We will interact with the answering machine. The technology will interact with the answering machine. It will press all the correct buttons until it reaches a human. After that, it's going to listen to all that annoying music. And when it detects a human picked up the phone, we will connect you to that call. So customer in the process saves time and energy. The market size. There are different market size for the product. One of them is call center speech analytics, digital ads, and subscription. And I will go more in detail in the next slides. Okay, the business model. The best ad is the ad which is placed at the problem. So, for example, when a customer keeps calling UPS, they have a problem with shipments or any kind of problems, we can easily place an ad during that call. So it's going to be an ad placed during the problem. And another business model is a regular freemium business model. It's going to be a subscription-based application for B2C. Competition. At the moment, there's 1.5 competitors on the market. One of them is Google Hold, right? It's a service which is only available to Google Pixel customers, for people who own Google Pixel phones, and it only listens to music. So, for example, you still have to dial a company, you still have to go through the maze of answering machine voice systems, and then you can choose the Google on hold. It will listen to music, and then it will notify you whenever a human picked up the phone. We have the full cycle. Then there was another company called Get Human. They went out of business in 2017. They did the full cycle, but the reason they went out of business because they did not use technology. They used regular people to call companies, and then they would connect the customer to that call once the customer support rep was reached. Now, speech analytics, that's another market. It's a huge industry. All of these companies, they're all very good at what they do. So basically what they do, they wanna help UPS, let's say, to improve their KPIs on their call centers, right? So they listen to all the phone calls, they help, they tell customers, they tell call centers representatives what to say in order to increase the APIs, right? KPIs. The only problem with that, they need the permission. Our customers already calling all of the companies all over the world. So it means we don't need the permission from UPS to do the speech analytics for any company and any industry. At the moment, we have this month in April, we have 332 users, made 800 phone calls. As you can see in the beginning, we had like almost flatlined. That's because in beginning of the year, we got our first pre-seed round. And now we're experimenting with Facebook ads, with marketing. So we're trying to increase our users. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max. Philip, please.
Yep, thank you, Max. I guess my first question is, do you have any concerns about privacy when it comes to like the nature of what the conversation might be for those?
Yes, perfect. Okay, we do not collect any data, right? Whenever user signs up, we do not ask no names, no emails, nothing. All we need is a phone number to call back, right? We do collect data, but we collect data in an aggregate. We don't know who that data belongs to.
Got it.
It's like, for example, like a car insurance company. They don't collect data on a specific person, but they collect data overall. So they would know, for example, X amount of cars have X amount of accidents.
Sure, got it. And okay, fair enough. And so my next question is, you mentioned those multiple business models, right?
Yes.
I'm curious, which one do you foresee being the most of your revenue being generated from?
Okay, I think it's, in order to answer this, it's a steps, right? So for example, we think that digital ads and data gathering will be the biggest chunk of the business. But in order to get to that, we need customers, right? So first we need B2C, we need to get like people on board, we need to start collecting data. And after that, the biggest revenue will be digital ads.
Got it. And do you have a concern where, like, if you place people ads, you need to give them like a lasting experience for that to justify, right? Like I watch an ad in front of a YouTube video because my YouTube video lasts 10 minutes, so I'm okay waiting 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. But isn't the point of your business to go and reduce that friction for the customer so they don't have to wait anymore?
Yes.
So why would they wait for your ad?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so at this moment, right? So whenever a customer will place a call, once the person presses a call button, right, we have a like 10-second window where we can put an ad. Or before customer presses a call button, right, we can put an ad over there.
Got it.
So it's still 10 seconds. For example, on average, it takes about 12 minutes to reach a customer support in developed countries, right? For example, in America, in Europe, in Canada, and Australia, right? In order to reach a customer service support at the company, right? At this moment, we can do it a little bit faster, but still, there's still 10-minute gap, right? The reason we do it faster because we know the entire map of the questions that the answering machine system will ask us. We can pre-press those buttons basically, right? But later on, in a couple of months, we're implementing another feature, which is going to be instant connection. So for example, you in Europe and you have to call a Citibank in America, all you need to do, you press a button, call Citibank, you wait 5 seconds and you get connected immediately with that customer support rep from that company you chose, anywhere in the world to any company in the world. Instant, regardless of the wait time.
Nice. That's very nice. Congrats. Thank you.
Max,
yes.
Only one because we are very late. We need to close. Who are your users today?
At the moment, our users are regular B2C people, regular people like you and me who hate wasting time on stupid activities like, holding your phone and listening to the elevator music all the time, right? But right now we're testing other theories. We're trying to work with B2B customers, companies like lawyers, accountants, who always like 24/7, they call companies like, IRS or like immigration services. And those are going to be our next B2B customers.
There is a huge difference in CAC when it comes to acquiring a business as a customer and consume as a customer.
Yes.
Now, did you calculate your CAC on LTV?
We're doing at this moment that we received our pre-seed round like 2 months ago, right? And right now we're experimenting with all the marketing, right? We're experimenting like how much it would cost us our regular B2C customer, how much does it cost like a B2B customers, what are the channels, and how to acquire it.
Great. Thank you so much, Maxime. Stay. Don't go because we are all back right now.
Okay, thank you.
We're bringing all the founders back. as we always close, we close for the best elevator pitch that you can give to the investors. In this case, let's say you want to convince Philip, right, to invest in your startup. As soon as Philip will become a professional investor, and for what I can see today for the questions, will be very soon. Max, start you as the last and now be the first one. Why
Okay.
invest in your startup?
Sure. It's very easy. Time is the most valuable resource that we have. Data is the most valuable asset a company can have. At the app, we provide people, we give them back that time back, and in return, we get the data.
Thank you so much, Maxime. Morten,
Yes. Hi there. Yeah, so why invest? I mean, we're making small vehicles, but we're making big thoughts. We're making a big impact, and we're going to make a unicorn. So you're coming in at a great stage.
that's a good statement. Emiliano,
We're creating the most scalable and energy efficient vertical farming model. Let's do it.
thank you. Shabir, please close today.
With Cook Micro, you have a rare chance of being part of creating a new segment in the food industry, which will provide lots of choices to customers while empowering small food businesses and home chefs.
Thank you so much, Shabir. Philip, thank you very much for being with us today. You are in a beautiful Paris, and I hope you enjoy it a lot. Thank you again, very much so. Max, Shabir,
course.
Morten, and Emiliano, I really thank you, you as well, guys, for making this happen today. And I really hope we can reach the right investors and give you the opportunity to pitch again to them and raise the money that you need to scale and have a great, great business. We are going back live again next Tuesday, 5 p.m. UK time. I wish you all of you a good Easter time and happy holiday. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.